Hello, everybody. This is Becky here at Aunt Beck's Creations, and I'm on a little late from my 7 o'clock normal start time. 7 o'clock normal start time, and I'm a little bit early for the rescheduled 7:30 time. So I'm not going to jump right into the project. We'll wait till 7:30 to start on the project. I will just chit-chat about some things. I have been using the markers that Mary, the Pentel markers, and they have like this medium point on them, like that. And sometimes that's just a little too wide for what I want. So I picked up some of these Sharpie fine 0.8 millimeter pen stylo. It says it won't bleed through the paper. So I got some of those. And then I got some of the really chunky chiseled Sharpies. So I can do the edges on things quicker. So that's why I picked those up. And I picked this up for some spring tags I want to make at Walmart. And this is only $2.97 for this whole bag. And I've got more moss here than I will need for the tags I want to do. So I'll have some of that left over for future projects. So everybody must be waiting till the 7:30 to come on. And that's fine. I have not gotten any mail this week to share with you guys. Last weekend, Scott and I went and visited a vintage market in Greenville. And I have a little short video of outside the building, and I haven't uploaded it yet. So that's something I need to do. But I was just going to share with you here what I picked up. They had, one of the booths had a whole jar of these little baubles or whatever. And I picked up one. And I'm thinking I'll make a beaded chain. Hi, Mindy. And hang this in the window because it's prismatic and it'll psych the cats out. So that's my plan for that. And it was only $3. So that's why I picked that up. And then the only other thing we bought was this jar of buttons. And the whole reason I wanted it is because it looks like it has produce net around it. But that's in the glass, and I'd not seen one like that. It's a Kerr jar, not a ball jar. It's a Kerr jar. And then all of these buttons were in it, and I got it for $10. And I want to start doing a little bit of vintage sewing of clothing for myself. So I'm going to be on the lookout for some vintage patterns that I like to give a go at. And then I'll have vintage buttons to put on them. So... And the bonus of this was we had a blast on a rainy day. And we had not been able to find an antique mall to replace the old Mill Antique Mall in West Columbia until now. I think this vintage market's pretty close. Scott's home tonight, and I'm sure he would say the same thing, that we will go there again. It's not as big as Old Mill Antique Mall, but it kept us busy for several hours. And so there's that. Scott had his stress test today, and he wasn't feeling too well afterwards. So I told him, I said, just call and tell him you're not coming in. Just tell him you're not feeling good after that test. And I'll never call in. He never calls in. Most of the time, I have to about beat him to stay home, even when he's sick. Mindy, they said that the cardiologist would look at it today, and if there was a problem, they would call us back within, a day. If we don't hear anything, we can just assume that the cardiologist didn't find anything. So it's a no news is good news department. Because if they don't find anything, they're not really invested in letting you know that they didn't find anything. But if they find something, that gets them excited because that means more money. That's my train of thought on that one. and he could not do the treadmill one. So we were there for 4 hours so they could do the one where they give him the medicine to make everything speed up. He has arthritis in his ankles, and there's no way he could do the treadmill test. I had the treadmill test, which I told him, I said, they make you run until you can't hardly stand, and then they let you sit down for a little while, and then they get you back on there and make you run again. So we'll wait and see. It's kind of, hi, Mary. I was kind of hoping Tanya would pop in. I was going to show the little pages. I'm still working on them from this last week. This was one, and I told her I was going to just put paper around. So this is the actual papers I used out of the magazine, or it was a mailer. It was a cardboard mailer that I made my shapes with. And then I just used music page and book page around it. And I thought I'd leave this page like this so I could remember how it was made. I could see the components that went inside the windows. And then these were a doodle that I did following the doodle I shared on our group page, where they had all those colors with spirals and dots and stuff. So I did a sampling of that, and then I just punched these circles out, and I liked how they looked, so I just glued them down. And then I just did the same on the back. And then these, well, that one I can't show you because it's got my address on it. I'm painting them. I've got gesso on them. I'm going to gesso the other side too. And then this one, let me cover my address here. This one, I'm going to gesso both sides too. And those will be ready to go in my book. And the only other thing I did on Sunday was I had all those scraps from doing those pages. So I said, well, I'm going to do some artist trading cards, and I'll send one to Tanya to stick in her book. I was looking for kind of Art Deco quotes, but I didn't really find anything. So this is as far as the artist trading cards have gone so far. So yeah, I'll keep one and send one to Tanya, and she can put it in her book. Hi, Rosa. So I really like how those artist trading cards are coming out. Now, a note about the bits and a bits of box idea. I was watching Mary the other day, and she was talking about using her bits and little bits off the table. Bits and bobs off the table. So I said, you know what? That'd make a fun swap for the group to do. So bits and bobs off your table is like that last little teeny piece of lace that you trimmed off, leftover punches like these. These are just punched out of an ad, postage stamps, a few die cuts you might have, or punched out shapes, things like that, that you could just pop in a small box. And I'm going to make a small box in a separate standalone video that will be for that swap, and I'll just fill it until it's full, and it would be a one-on-one swap. So that is my idea of that. You can have different bits of paper. Janet had asked about how much it would cost to mail it. Because postage is going to go up, I can't answer that question right now. So yeah, as soon as I figure out what the postage is going to, I think it was Lynn was talking about stamps are going to 55 cents, but then they're going to up the prices like on everything else, even more than the percentage on just a single letter stamp. I don't know. So I guess we'll wait, and I'll put that particular swap up to be later on, because right now we already have our fussy cut swap going on. We're going to do spring tags and then the bits and bobs. So I'm thinking maybe March will be bits and bobs. I want to keep it to one swap a month for the group. And that way, if you want to participate in a swap in another group, you would only have 1 or 2 swaps to deal with. Does that make sense? Bits and bobs, the B&B swap. Zoe, I will try to get with Victoria. So tonight we're going to make a box. Now I'll show you the chipboard. I got this from an eBay seller, and it says it's 0.050, 50 point heavyweight chipboard. And I said it's about 1/8 of an inch thick. See? So if all you have is cereal box, I would glue 2 cereal boxes together to give you more strength. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out. I'm trying to use this up, and then I'm just going to recycle boxes from now on. I'm not going to be silly and buy chipboard again. Lesson learned. It's really nice chipboard, but I don't think it's something I need to buy when there's so much you can recycle, you know. So you needed chipboard. You can decorate it with scrapbook paper, or if you want to, you can do mixed media on it. I'll leave how you decorate it up to you. I'm going to show you first the basic box construction, and once the box is completely together, I'll show you how to decorate it with the scrapbook paper. But if you want to do mixed media on it, you can decorate it, you know, later on your own time. So I have lightweight scrapbook paper. And what I mean by lightweight scrapbook paper, you don't want to build up a lot of weight on the side of the box with paper unless you take into account when you're constructing it, so that you have space for the lid to go over it. You'll see what I mean. But see, this is one of those Recollections 180 sheet, super thin paper. This is perfect for decorating boxes. I'm determined to use this pad up this year. I have had this thing for probably 5 years now, and I keep making stuff with it, and it just never seems to go away. So what I finally got enough cards to finish my perpetual calendar. This is my perpetual calendar that I'm doing with Tanya. See all the months there? And I got my cards for the months at a thrift store. So really what we want to pay attention to is one of the dividing cards, because you've got to have room for your tabs. So let's measure. Oh, you know what? Hang on just a second. Let's get one measurement before we pull that out. We need to know how deep a box we need to do. And it's not wanting to do. This is why I want to get it in a box, because it's just a mess. So my stack, hello Tippy. Honey, can't see what I'm doing, buddy. This is 2 3/4, but I'm going to say 3. Yes, I love you too. 3 inches deep. Buddy, can you play with Daddy? Daddy's home tonight. Go play with Daddy. Who's she, Daddy? Okay, so that was 3 inches deep. Right. And so for the height, that's how deep it has to be. So like I started this box, I'll start it this way. Can you guys see that? Yeah, you can see that. The 3 inches deep will go, actually it's the width. We'll call that the width, 3-inch width. So length and height will go, are the other 2 measurements I need. So I'm going to say the height needs to be, it measures out at 5.5 inches. And this way it measures the 8 inches. All right. So is that right? That's the length. The height is 5.5. Yeah. Okay. We'll put that back in the stack. All right. So the first thing we're going to build is the bottom. So let's do the bottom. Our stack is 3 inches deep, 3 inches, and then the width of it is the 8 inches. Okay. So we've got to go 3 inches back and then 8 inches across. All right. So when we're doing our construction, I always add between 1/4 and 1/2. I want to have some extra finger room to be able to pull my cards out and stuff. So I'm going to add 5/8 to my measurements. So 3 5/8 by 8 5/8. So that'd give me a little over 1/4 inch on each side, and front to back, it'd give me about 1/4 inch. So the first piece we need to cut at 3 5/8 by 8 5/8. So I'm going to cut this way. Oh, I'm going to end up having to cut it this way because the sheets only, the sheets are only 8 1/2. So 8 5/8 is right here. And normally I would just do this with my cutter. But I know Mary likes to measure things out. So I said, well, I'll measure it out so people can see. So that's the 8 5/8. All right. So now I'm going to come in from one side, the 3 5/8. 3 5/8. And I'm going to verify that my cards will fit in here before I cut this. Because that's just not looking like it's going to, it doesn't look like they're all going to fit in there, but maybe they will. Yeah, they'll fit in there. Perfect. All right. So I'm going to cut that with my rotary cutter. This will burn through your blades, though, just so you guys know. And you have to cut it a couple times to get it through. Sometimes it doesn't go all the way through. So I just do like that so I can see where it is and cut from the opposite side. There's that. Okay. So this is our bottom. And because I cover the inside as well as the outside, I'm going to write on each piece with pen so I remember which piece goes where. All right. So like I'll write on this one. This is the bottom of my box. All right. Bottom. Mary, you just do your thing. If it works for you, you do that. All right. So now we need to figure out our sides. Okay, the height of this is 5 1/2. So you're going to have 2 pieces for each end. So you'll have a piece here and a piece here that are going to be the 3 5/8 by, it's 5 1/2 inches tall. So add 5/8 to that. Oh boy. 1/2 is how many eighths? 4/8? 4/8. So that would be 5 4/8 plus 5/8 would be 9/8, 5. So it'd be 6 1/8. So you'll need 2 pieces that are 6 1/8 by 3 5/8. And then you're going to want 2 pieces. You'll need 2 of those, and you'll need 2. Now this is where you have to think about something. When you put your sides on, okay, like here, like if we put these sides on here, if you put them along the side of the bottom piece, you'll need a different measurement than if you put them on the top of the bottom. Does that make sense? You have to take into account of where you place this. All right. So if we cut that at 3 5/8 by the 6 1/8, we'll still go, the height won't change. So this piece, the other 2 pieces will be 6 1/8. But what I generally do is I'll put my 2 ends on, and then I'll figure out how much 2 of these together are. And then I'll add that to this width. So let's see what that is. It's another 8. So 6/8. So 8 3/4. 2 at 8 3/4. And we'll have to remember, we're going to put our sides to the outside edge of our bottom. So the bottom is here. Well, when we attach these, it'll be on the outer edge. Okay. So I'm going to cut these pieces. This is cut at the 8 5/8. Okay, so I could utilize this piece by cutting at the, no, I can't. Yes, I can. I can trim this down to use for one of these. So 3 5/8. I'm going to measure this one, and then I'm going to look at chat and see if you guys are totally lost or if you're okay. And what you could do is you can cut one end and then just use it as a pattern for the other end if you wanted to. And then we need a 6 1/8. If I don't write those measurements down, Mary, they'll go out of my head within like 5 seconds. They'll be like, bam, gone. All right, so this is going to be an end. I'm going to call these the end of the bottom, end of bottom. And the reason I say end of bottom is we're going to make a top, a cover to put on top of this as well. I'm going to keep writing them down. If you lose track of what I've written down, just give me a holler and I'll call them out again, okay? No biggie. See, that's about perfect to save for artist trading card. All right, so we need 2 of them this size. We can save some of these pieces too for our construction of our top. They might work out. No, they won't, because you have to, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. My brain is working faster than my mouth. All right, so we need another one of these. And these are the ones, like here's our bottom. We'll attach these on the ends, okay, like that. All right, so that's one, and we need one more that size. But what I want to do is I want to make sure I get the 8 3/4 taken care of first, because that's the largest measurement I have here, and I'm trying not to waste any of this. Even though I have a bunch of it, there's no point in wasting it. Boop, boop. Is that Janet telling everybody I'm live? And I had posted that you would need 1-inch strips scored at a half mark like this, and then fold them on your score line. So I went ahead and I fixed a bunch of these. And every once in a while, you'll see red on some of these because I got 2 paper cuts doing that. So use a bone folder when you fold your strips, because, man, that brought tears to my eyes. It was something else. And the only Band-Aids we had in the house are these like this, little teeny ones. But they stick really good. They're by NextCare, I think. 8 3/4 by 6 1/8. So I'm only going to get... I'm only going to get one long side on this too. And I'm going to call this the side at the bottom. Side of bottom. That's just how it works out in my head to do. And it looks like I'm only going to get one of these. But save all your scraps because we can probably use them, you know, in the next, when we construct the lid, we can revisit our scraps. So I'm going to cut this. I just turned it around again. Scott said, "What are you going to do tonight?" And I said, "Make a box." He said, "Oh, I still remember your first box." I love to make these boxes. All right. I'll go ahead and see. I didn't get that one very straight. It doesn't. Well, yeah, it's fine. But most definitely, we will visit that vintage market again. I need to get that video up. It's going to be a really short video, but it'll show you what they have out in their yard. And I found out as I was checking out that I could have done videos inside. I should have just asked, but, you know, I don't like to ask that kind of stuff. All right, I've got a lot of folks in here tonight. Welcome to everybody that's here. Kendra, I hated my new keyboard too. Scott went digging and found me a mouse, and I've been so much happier. And of course, he's happier too because I'm not cussing about the pad moving the cursor on me. I'd be typing along during a chat, and then all of a sudden, it would like take me away from the video I was watching, send me to some other video, and oh. He got tired of me cursing over here, I think. All right, so we need 2 and 2. So let me grab, what did I do with it? Oh my gosh, how did I misplace that already? Oh, I buried it under the paper. I went to Joann's yesterday because I got my YouTube money. And I got all excited because I thought I'd be able to get all this cream and white calico at 60% off. And then I get over there and I look at the ad again, and it was only for the first part of the month. I was so mad because it's all the way across Greenville. So I ended up buying, they had Simplicity patterns on sale, and I bought myself a dress pattern for just a real simple pullover dress and the fabric to make it that was on sale. And then on my way back, I stopped at Michael's, didn't buy a thing. They didn't have a thing I wanted in there. Side of bottom. Okay, and then I'll trace this end over here. And I was thinking when I was in those 2 stores, I was thinking, you know what? I have so much stuff. I should have just bought a bike with my YouTube money, and I could have been getting exercise. So I didn't do that. Maybe next time. There's a Huffy bike at Walmart that I think looks really cool, and it's got a basket. So I could gather stuff as I was out riding my bike. Scott was in that stress test thing for 4 hours today, and I had taken this book on this collage, and I'm really intrigued by it. I think Jerry does a lot of this collage already. Before I started up, I was watching Jerry's Tin Dolly. That's all I could think to call her. So, hi, Edidal. Hi, Sharon Marlowe. And oh, I hear you, Kendra. We are going to construct the bottom before we even think about the top. That way we can take the measurements for the top from the bottom that we create. It'll make a world of difference if we do it that way instead of trying to figure out the measurements ahead of time. I learned that the hard way and wasted, well, not really wasted, but misused a bunch of chipboard one time. So see, we've got all of this pile here that will probably be able to get all of our bits we need for our cover, our top. So I've got one more cut on here. All right. Uh-oh, I didn't fold it. Never mind. What's bad is I'm dulling this blade and I don't think I have another one. But I'll make it work. So this is going to be the end of the bottom. I'm going to set this aside. I have another paper trimmer I can use for paper, but I'll have to dig it out. End of bottom. All right. So this is where the strips and the tacky glue come into place. All right. So I'm going to write the measurements for the bottom, which was the 3 5/8. The bottom needs to be 3 5/8 by 8 5/8. Let me write that on here with something that's a little bit more visible. This bottom is 3 5/8 by 8 5/8 inches. And you only need one. All right. The ends that go on either end of your bottom are 3 5/8 by 6 1/8. And you need 2 of those. So that's those 2. Okay. And then the sides for the bottom of your box are 8 3/4 by 6 1/8. And you need 2 of those as well. So does everybody have all of that written down or cut out? Do I need to take a break here? I'll catch up with chat while you guys get all of your figures either written down. You've been looking for moss. I got this moss at Walmart, and it was $2.97 for the bag. But I'm thinking I might go for a walk down in the woods as well. Hi, Sharon Lombard. 1/8 or 2/16 is the same thing. I just can't see 16th, so I have to go with the 1/8. Oh, okay, Lisa, that's fine. I'm going to scroll back up just a little ways and see. If somebody came in and I missed you, I'm sorry. I just wanted to get the dimensions out there. Hi, Mom Munson. Thanks, Mary, for the thumbs up. I'm not seeing Janet in here. Hey, Dawn's Crafty Room. And I said hi to Adele and Kendra.
Adele, I said hi.
It's not Adele. It's not Aunt Adele. It's Adele. That's her name. It's, yeah. Scott says hi, everybody. He stayed home from work. I made him stay home. I told him, I said, no, not after 4 hours of that stuff. Hi, Beth. Just trying to catch up with everybody that came in. And I saw Rosa when she first got here. Hi, and Sherry Hebbing. I think I saw you come in, hon. Zoe's here. Dawn says, hi, Scott. Hey, Peg. So is everybody ready to start putting this box together? All right, we're done measuring for right now. The next part is just have your scissors, your handy dandy strips that are done up. These are 1-inch strips. Let me get one that I haven't folded yet. All right, 1-inch strips. And then what I did is I had a 12 by 12 sheet of paper and I put it in my scoreboard and I scored it at 1/2, 1.5, 2.5, 3, and so on up to 11.5. And then I went to my trimmer and I just cut it at 1-inch strips. So it's not scored dead center on a lot of these, but that's not going to matter at all. We'll work with it. All right. And these strips are what are going to hold your box together and reinforce everything. Peg says, hi, Scott. Scott's had a rough day. I think he's sitting behind me with his earphones on, listening to whatever he wants to listen to. Oh, we've been watching the snow that everybody up north is getting. Adele said, hi, Scott, back.
Oh, there.
He was so cold in that cardiology diagnostics center that I don't know if it was just from the medicine or what, but he was all bundled up and they brought him a warm blanket and it was just, oh, I don't like those. I was watching the news. We went for Chinese after we got done because he was there from 11 to 3 and they had the weather up and it showed a bunch of nasty weather just below us in Georgia. Oh, Joan, no notification again. Do you know I get notifications for Mary when she's signing off? That's when I get my notifications for her. All right, so let's get started. We're going to save the sides to add last. The big pieces, set them aside. We're going to put our ends on first. And the reason I'm doing this is we took these into account when we measured these out. So these have the 2 little ends have to be attached first. So what you do is you take your piece of paper that you folded, you just lay it across your bottom here and trim it even with that. So I just use scissors. All right. So if you cut that, and we need 2 of those. You need one for the outside and one for the inside. If you do it both on the inside and the outside, you end up with a really, really strong box. So I'm going to get my tacky glue to the end where it needs to come out. Oh no, the video's not even showing up on the channel. I have that trouble too, looking for Mary's. I can't remember what I have to do to find out if she's live. I think I end up going to, don't remember what I do now. All right, so this has to go to the outside. So I'm going to attach my first strip of paper. Just put glue on one side of it. And you'll kind of want to make sure the glue goes to the edge of the paper so that you don't have paper sticking up. You'll see what I mean here in a minute. So I just spread it around with my finger. If you don't want to get glue on your finger and you have a glue brush, go for it. So take your side piece, the end piece that's going to go on your bottom, and lay it all the way into the corner of your little piece of paper. Like that. So you're in the L. So the fold for this piece where it's folded, where you scored it and folded it, it runs right along the edge of that, okay? So go ahead and do that to both of your end pieces. That way, while you're gluing up the other one, this one can be setting somewhere to dry. All right, I'm going to get a wet one real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and trim 2 more pieces of my folded paper for my other end before I glue it down so I don't have to glue again. So I've got still a little scrap from the first section. I just line them up and cut this off. There's no, unless you really want to, you don't have to save the little bits because we're not going to do anything that small. I've cut enough of these that I'm not going to worry about that. And remember, don't worry if it's not folded directly in half. We can make adjustments to work around that. All right, so do that again where you put glue on just one edge of it. This glue is about to the halfway point, and it drives me bonkers. I need to move it into something smaller, I think. I don't think I'll ever buy another huge bottle of this stuff. It's too big of a headache to try to get it out of there. All right, remember to spread your glue around because you don't want edges of the paper to stick up when you go to decorate. All right, and here's my other piece. Yeah, the notification system is really kind of wonky. And you see, I kind of fold it so that it makes a letter L. And that way I can make sure this little piece of paper is kind of that this part is laying flat away from that edge. And the reason you want it to do that is so when we attach the bottom to it, it will be along the side of that. So like this is standing up. When we glue this piece down, we want this piece touching the table, not touching the top of this piece. That's why you put your piece of paper on the side, the end piece there first. Now, this tacky glue sets up pretty good. I'm going to set that piece aside and go back to the first one. All right, you can see I want to make sure this is gluing down good. You are not going to see this after we decorate it, but if it starts pulling up a little bit, I would try pressing it down a little bit. Because when you put your decorative paper on, if there's a little bubble or something here, you'll be able to see it. So that's just me knowing because I've done this several times. The video tab, yeah. Tippy, I can't hold you right now, honey. Go see Daddy. No. Go see Daddy. Go see Daddy. No. Whistle. He'll come to you. Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Not happening. We left him and Callie in all day, and well, this box is for me. I'm not making it for anybody else. So, okay, now you're going to put glue along the piece of paper that's still remaining and up just about 1/8 of an inch on the side so that your piece of chipboard will glue down in there. And I've probably got enough glue there. I think a little cat missed me today. I get where where I can lock myself away. I can hide from the kitties soon, hopefully this year. Hi, Holly. All right, so now you got glue on your little tab. Set your side down on the table so that you make sure it's down on the table. Then just sit this down there. Line up your sides. And just hold it for a minute. He's a rotten little beastie is what he is. And if you need to, you can lean. I'm going to just set this close to the tripod so that that can be held up for just a minute. All right. Now, on your piece that's going to go on the inside, you put the glue on the outside because you're going to slide this into your angle like that. Can you see? Like this. So here's your little folded piece. You put the glue on the outside, and when you put it in there, it'll help hold up that, that side. So I'm going to put some glue. I got to shake it down again because it's, oh, my arm's going to be exhausted by the time this night is over because the glue is so thick. And I'm probably shaking you guys. Sorry about that. And by doing this, I'm going to try laying that on its side. I don't think it'll leak out, but I learned this from Jim the Gentleman Crafter years ago. Is he still on? I haven't seen a video from him from a long time, but I don't know if I unsubbed or YouTube unsubbed or I don't know. All right, so spread your glue out. Mark is in the house. Hi, Gloria. Who else came in? Holly came in. All right, so you just fit this down in your angle. And this makes it really, really strong. Just line your piece of paper up with edges. Do not get nasty or I'll send you over to Daddy. I'm not here to pet you tonight. I'm trying to do something. No. I'm going to go put you in your bed here in a minute because you're being naughty. No nails out. He wants me to be still. He doesn't like it that I'm trying to work. All right. So there's one end and see how sturdy it is already? All right. So I'm going to go deal with Mr. Tippy real quick. I know you missed us. You want to lay with Daddy over here? Stay with Daddy. This morning, that cat would not leave Scott alone. He kept getting in Scott's lap and then petting Scott's face with his paw. And I think he sensed something was about to happen. Oh, now he's just getting mad because he's not getting his way. He's going to start playing the blinds. The Kitty Blues by Tippy All right, so I'm going to set that down on the table, lay this on the strip. All right. And then just hold it for a minute. You don't think he's been making videos lately? I didn't think I'd seen anything. Usually he would have popped up in my recommendations as well. Acupuncture. All right. Scott's going to put him out because he's being a royal nuisance. All right. So again, the one on the inside, you put the glue on the outside of your little teepee. And here I've gone and let the glue go back to the bottom of the bottle again. Like a nincompoop.
Okay, see you later. Bye.
Did we get one in return for that one?
No.
Okay. Because usually when you open the door for one or two comes back in.
A cat swap.
A cat swap. Yes, I think they do. And he very much wanted to just be the one that was the center of attention. I just spread the glue out so that it's kind of everywhere. I need to put Murphy's Oil soap on my grocery list. Actually, I might wait and see if I can actually remember because I've got like 2 or 3 bottles at the other house. Oops. All right, and I'm just working that in to the angle. Okay. And you can wipe up any overage if you want to, or you can just, if it dries clear, and we're going to cover all this anyway. All right, so there's the two ends on there. Okay, so now these should meet up on all sides. So now we're going to do what we did at the bottom here. We're going to do that for the long edge at the bottom, and then we're going to do both of the sides. So first get the bottom attached the same way we did the sides by attaching a strip to this first so that the edge of this is in your fold all the way, okay? And by doing that, see, I need to cut another piece because this isn't quite long enough. By doing that, then when you attach it to that, you're guaranteed that this piece will ride on top of the paper, not the side piece riding on top of the bottom piece, because you don't want that. So I'll get another piece. Like I said, I pre-made a bunch of these. All right, and I'm just going to measure it by holding a piece up and then snipping it away. And again, you need 2 pieces. So I'll go ahead and get another strip and cut, again, another piece here. Oh, it's cool enough. The heat's kicking on. All right, so now you've got one for the inside and one for the outside. His last video was 2 years ago. Aw, that's a bummer. Well, I learned this from him. I gave him credit. He used to make the most wonderful things on there. What you're hearing right now is Scott playing with something in the kitchen. I think he's trying to find a snack. He's found one. All right, I might have to lay this down here. And again, I'm making this box for my perpetual calendar, but you can make a box to hold anything if you do the whole measure your item, get the depth, the width, and the height, and then add at least 5/8 to the pieces to take into account whatever finish you're going to do to it. This is a little bit trickier because these are bigger. So that's why I say you want to have a little extra space for your item to have a little space to move. And you have to have a little extra space for whatever you're going to use to decorate your piece. All right. Oh, you know what? I didn't cut enough slips to do all of it, and I cut this one a little long, and you can just trim it now. Don't try to trim it once you've attached it. If you get it a little long, trim it while it's not attached to the box, because it's impossible to do any trimming once it's attached. All right. So is this my piece? Yeah. I need 2 more of these for the other side, because I'm going to go ahead and start gluing this up as well. I'm going to get all of the bottom glued and then do the sides. And I'll do each side one at a time. So this needs to go with that one. And I need 1 more for the other side. It's hard to do this and watch chat. That's for sure, because I've got to a perpetual calendar is one that you can use over and over again, because it does not denote Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It just denotes the month and the day. This is what mine is right here. Okay, so I've got a 5 by, no, yeah, I think it's a 5 by 8 index card for each day. And then these tabs are the months. And so I started this one to do Tanya's 5-year thing that she's doing. And I made a stamp for 2019. So each day Tanya posts a question for the day. And I have the date is in the corner. So 1/10. So this will always be the January 19th card. And then I'll put 2019. And then next year I'll carve another stamp for 2020. And I'll use this until the card is full. Or 5 years, whichever comes first. So that's what a perpetual calendar is. You just take the card for that day and move it to the back. And so you're constantly moving it and rotating it to the back. So when January 1st comes along, when you move January 31st to the back, January 1st is at the front of your box. Yes, you can use a perpetual calendar in any year. All right, I'm going to do one side at a time. So I'm going to set that other side back aside. This is for our interior. And you can see the interior one needs to be trimmed by about, because you got to get to the interior of this. So I'm going to trim this back about 1/4 of an inch. So just snip about 1/4 off the end. That'll be for the inside. All right, now we're going to do like we did for the ends of them. And put the glue along the tab and then set this whole thing on here. I hope I'm making sense. I'm just going to spread this along. Things like this are so much easier to teach if everybody's in the same room. But I'm trying. I'm trying. All right. Got my wet one here. I'm just going to get some of that glue up. All right. You just want to make sure you're laying your bottom on top of the paper so that everything will meet up. Okay. We'll worry about these ends here in just a minute. We'll cut papers for them. All right. I'm just going to hold it for just a second, see what you guys are talking about. Well, hi, Gina. How are you? I started a little before 7:30 my time. I'm East Coast, Kathy. Did I mess you up? So if anybody that's coming in wants to know the measurements, this is just for my perpetual calendar, but you can, like I said, you can make any size box that you need or want, and you can use recycled cardboard or anything. The only thing I would say, if you want a sturdy box and all you have is cereal boxes, glue 2 cereal boxes together really good and let them dry before you start trying to build a box. I don't think you'd have a very sturdy box with just like a cereal box or a cracker box. And I get this chipboard on eBay. And like I said, I think what did I say? It's a 0.50. All right, so I've got my edge glued there. I'm going to go ahead and do my reinforcement piece on the inside. And then we'll make strips to do the corners, okay? So this is my strip that's going to go in. Just put your glue on the back side of this. And try not to do like me and get paper cuts. Uh-oh, it's flopping. It needs this other piece. It'll all hold together once you get all of your support pieces on. And tacky glue is kind of forgiving. I have done a couple boxes using the Scotch Quick Dry and found it set up so fast, I had some issues. But try to get your glue to your edges so your little support strips do glue down smoothly. All right. Okay, so we're going to put this in. Remember, just get your fold down into the edge there. I'm going to lay this down so that I can really smoosh on that. Let me see if I can get to a bone folder. You might get a shadow for just a minute because I've got my slips in the way. Yeah, this one might do. I'm just pressing with my bone folder to kind of smoosh that glue around. Smoosh, that's a Shannon term, isn't it? Smoosh. All right. That bone folder really gets it nice and smooth. So you might want to pull your bone folder out, your spatula, whatever you have that you use to smooth stuff out with, that could help too. All right, so now we're going to cut slips to do the outsides of our corners here. And all you got to do that, just take your piece of paper and fit it over it and then cut it to that height. And what I do is I just do a little snip. I think I can see that. Kind of, nope, kind of, nope. Let's see here. There we go. That'll work. going to go ahead and see if this will work. How about that? That'll work. Okay. So I'm just going to put one of these on each corner on the outside, and then I will figure out what I need for my inside edges. And I did a dumb thing, and I turned the stupid glue back right side up. Scott is, I think, a little bored. His chest was just hurting so bad afterward, just achy. I said, just stay home. I said, those young guys that are still there, they can do the work for you for one day. He said one of the ladies that likes to call on him, because it's all ladies on the production floor, because they know they can reach Scott. They can't reach those younger guys. Okay, a note about your corners real quick. You want to make sure that, like on the bottom, you made sure that the side came in front of the end comes in front of the side. So this piece of board needs to match up with the side of your end, like that. And then put your little piece of cardstock up there. Okay. Twofer. It's a twofer. What are we getting? Callie and Howie? The two boys are in. It's cat herding hour at our house. Welcome to the cat herding hour. Or hours. Maybe they'll get it all out of their system.
What?
Howard says, why are you home, Dad? For anybody that doesn't know, we have 3 cats named Howard, Callie, and Tippy. And they basically rule us, and we're suckers. Scott says the raccoons that hang around, they tell the cats, yep, it's a good house. Good house. You can take up there. They're cat suckers there at that house. Go ahead and take up there, and maybe they'll put some food outside so we can have some food too, man. All right, so I just kind of pressed from the inside because it's hard to press from the outside right now. So that's one corner done. All right, and you're going to do the same thing for this other side. Just make sure your end meets up with the inside of your side there. This is my piece for there, I think. No, this is the piece for there. Yeah. All right, so we'll put some more glue. Keep covering my lighting. Hi, Mina. When you're putting a strip on the outside of the box, it goes on the inside of the fold. When you're putting it on the inside of the box, it goes on the outside of the fold. And I'm just going to put this down so I can spread this glue about. And if I can remember to do it, I will put the measurements for the box in the description box. So if somebody watching later would like to make a box about this size, you'd have the measurements already figured out. Okay. I'm making a mess. Making a mess on my fingers. All right. Why are you saying bah? Are you trying to cook something on that stove that neither one of us like? Oh, I know what you're fixing. Clam chowder. Ugh. No, thank you. All right. So now, you don't like boiled eggs, so I know you're not doing boiled eggs. cat herding hour. We are so owned, you guys. It's not even funny. All right, so there's that side. But before I put the other side on, I'm going to go ahead and do my inner angle here. So I do the same thing. I just kind of put a piece in there, stand it in the corner, make a little nick, and trim it. And then I'll just cut another one for the other side. I might save that piece. We can use it later. That's why I said if you have these ahead of time, this saves you a bunch of time if you already have the strips done. All right, and again, these are going on the inside of the box. So we're going to put the glue on the outside of the fold. If I can get the cotton picking glue back in the end. You know, you think this is a bargain, but when it gives you such a headache, I think it's worth it to just pay a little extra and get a smaller bottle of glue, to be honest. Because this is crazy. So let's see, it's 8:30 now. I'm trying to make sure I have time to do the decorating of the box as well, but we'll see. Hey, kitties. Daddy has fishies over there. Go drive him nuts for a while. Howie's just laying there. He says, I ain't doing nothing. All right, so I'll put this on the inside. And I'm going to lay it down and work this into the corner. Smooth it out and flip the box and do the same thing. I've got it a little tall. I'm going to end up having to do what I hate doing, is trying to trim when it's on the box. But I'll let it dry a little bit before I try to trim it. Might be easier to trim with, ooh, just pulled it loose. It might be easier to trim with an X-Acto knife. I've not tried that before. That would be a wise thing to do. Howard. Okay, he says, I'm not doing anything. I'm laying here. So, was that the piece I cut, or this is the piece I cut? This is the piece I cut, and it's just a little bit too long. So I'll do the smart thing and trim this off right now. All right. Is somebody working on something with pages? And the bottom measures 3 5/8 by 8 5/8. Thanks, Peg. I was sitting here putting the glue on. Forgot what I was doing, and I was thinking, am I putting the glue on the right spot? Brain fart.
This is actually better than the clam chowder I got at the steakhouse.
Really?
Yeah. This is out of a can.
Which steakhouse was it, honey? I don't remember.
It was our favorite over by the barrel.
Our favorite by the... Oh!
We'll never go to again.
Arizona Steakhouse. Yes, that was disgusting. Worst service. Yeah. Sorry, Arizona Steakhouse. We'll never go there again.
This is actually creamy.
So Campbell's is better than Arizona Steakhouse's clam chowder.
Cheaper than Campbell's. It's great value.
Ooh, great value. That's the Walmart brand.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all can see. I'm just running this along the edge. And I put this edge into the V of the fold and just kind of push it down. And then that just makes it nice and smooth. All right, so now we're going to repeat what we just did on that side on the other side, which I have ready to go right here. And we'll just put this on here. And that'll be the bottom of my perpetual calendar. And then we'll start figuring out what we need to do for the top. All right. So first thing we do is put a slip of this paper onto the sides. Oh, which Barb is here? Is it Barb Filion? Hi, Barb. Barb, I mailed the ATC that I made during last week's live just the other day. So you won't get it for a bit. With the holiday, I didn't get to the post office on Monday because Monday there was no postal service, you know, Martin Luther King birthday, Junior's birthday.
Yep.
And the mail lady said, oh, we were wondering about you. We haven't seen you in ages and your pretty envelopes. So I need to sit down and have another session of decorative envelope making. I don't know if that's something you guys would like to sit in on a live to do, or you want me just to, what on earth? What is this thing doing? Go away. That's okay. Barb says she's not gotten hers in the mail either. My biggest thing with things going in the mail is communication. I don't mind if someone's going to be late getting something in the mail, but what bothers me is when it's not communicated and it goes on and on and on and on, like it's going on in another group. That drives me a bit crazy, especially when I take the time to organize everything. You know, the organizer always catches all the heck and a half. But I love to organize stuff and make up fun stuff to do. It just makes it so it's not quite as much fun for me when I have to be a meanie. And
I think a fun group project would be sanding drywall.
I don't think the gals and guys here would think that that's a very fun group project.
I think it'd be fun if I could get somebody else to do it.
I don't know if you guys heard him, but he said he thinks a fun group project would be everybody coming over to help us sand drywall. Yeah, I don't think too many are going to take you up on that, dear.
I think it'd be fun to watch them.
It'd be fun to watch them? Yeah. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they'd find it very fun for you to just sit and watch them.
You missed the plate over there.
All right, I'm just gluing my side on. And again, I'm making sure that the end pieces are going to ride inside this piece.
Tippy approves.
Tippy says it's yummy?
Yes. Tippy approves.
All right. So now I need my piece for the inside. So I'm going to take this piece and trim off, what did I say, about 1/4 of an inch to fit inside. Don't worry about that flopping down. We'll make it all better here in just a minute. So I'm going to flip that up. And we'll just lay it on its side while I'm messing with glue. Yeah, it's body powder, Kathy. The little room we have here at the cottage that Scott got a wild hair and started remodeling here, even though it wasn't really in the plans for us to do any remodeling here. It's like we had a weekend here and it was raining and he was bored and he just started pulling stuff down. And the next thing I know, I'm getting involved and we've got furniture all out in this main room. And, you know, keep in mind, you guys, this whole house is only maybe 700 square foot. So I've got a path to my table here right now, and I've got drywall powder walks out of the little room and it comes all the way through the house. Because, you know, the kitty cats, they go in there and snoop around. We've cleaned up the drywall. There's still powder everywhere. You know, you use the shop vac and you vacuum and it's still blooming everywhere. So I'll be glad when we can put that room back together and rearrange this room a little bit, because we're going to take the ugly blue and orange couch and shove it in there. So if our son comes up and sleeps, that's what he usually sleeps on. It'll be in that room where he can have, you know, a quiet place to go. Now this is going to be tricky because this box is narrow. I'm going to kind of fold it in half and poke it down in there. Oh, it's too long. It's got to be trimmed again. I didn't cut quite enough. I'll have to clean my scissors. Let's try that again. All right. So if you wanted this to be a recipe file, you could use it for a recipe file box if you wanted to. I just needed something to put my perpetual calendar in. All right, I'm just using that bone folder to try to smooth this out. And then I'll lay it on its side and do the side piece. It's hard to see in there when it's this dark. Might need me a flashlight. See what I'm doing. All right. So now I'm just going to lay it on its side this way. Kind of having trouble getting that paper to lay smooth. Don't be afraid to take a little time to finesse it so the paper's pushed down against your cardstock. All right. So now we're going to do our two sides here. Hi, Tanya. Okay, that's fine. So I'm going to measure and trim this off here. And Scott says he thinks he's got one more remodel in him. So we'll probably look for a house that needs some work. Gina says no thanks, Scott. She's not gonna jump on board with the blooming. He said, "Come on, it'll be fun." She said, "No, thank you."
I have some whitewash for a fence as well.
Yep.
I don't let just anybody do the sky work.
So next week, you guys, I probably won't do my Wednesday live because unless y'all want to watch me paint walls and ceilings and stuff down at the house. I don't have any supplies down there. I don't really want to drag a bunch of stuff with me because my focus needs to be, you know, on the house. That's the whole reason I'm going down. And if weather permits, I'm going to trim back bushes and go through the stuff in the one garden shed and see if there's some stuff I can purge in there, and then move the garden tools to the other shed that we built. And we've decided we're going to just put new siding on our original shed so that, you know, kind of put a fresh coat of paint on the pig sort of thing. Yeah. And then we remembered we have one more drywall repair down at the house. And it's behind my big green desk. But luckily, I have those things under that thing now. It weighs a ton. We were given the desk. It will be perfect for my crafting room because it has these little trays that pull out on either side of me. So I can put my laptop on one of those and work on a project in front of me and not have to worry so much about my laptop getting totally covered in stuff, even though it probably still will get covered in stuff. All right. And I hope you guys don't mind doing a project like this tonight instead of, you know, a prompt session, but this type of project takes a lot more time than you think it's going to. And, you know, Holly says she's done her share, more than her share of sheetrock sanding. I get the impression nobody's going to take you up on it, dear. All right, I'm pushing from the inside down into my little support strip. All right, and then I can smooth this out. Pushing from the inside, just enough pressure to hold it in place. Not really pushing, just keeping it from folding away. All right. Yeah, we've done all kinds of stuff. I hope it pays off. All right, so I've got my outside pieces of paper on. It's not wanting to stick very good. I really like it to be nice and smooth, but if it's not going to be nice and smooth, it's mine. All right, so I need my little pieces to go on the inside now. Will this one fit? Just needs to be trimmed. No? I'm going to have to stand up. Thanks, Mary. All right. Yeah, I think that little piece will do. And then I'll just get another piece that's same size. And this is why I said do this bunch of strips, because you don't think you'll need that many until you start doing the inside and the outside edges of stuff. And it really is worth it in the long run because it makes it super sturdy box. I mean, that bad boy is not going anywhere. I'm going to stick that in there. It's hard to smooth stuff out with Band-Aids on your fingers. And the Band-Aids are getting full of glue. So yeah, it's a joy. I'll flip it up. You know, at the hospital or wherever you're waiting for procedures to be done, they always have like the HGTV on the TV. And you know, we don't watch TV. We don't own a TV of our own. We just watch stuff on YouTube or Netflix on the computers. And I was watching the twins. One will fix a house up and the other one sells the houses. One's a fixer-upper, one's a seller. Hi, Suze. And I was watching that while Scott was getting his heart checked out. I was like having a coronary at the prices they were talking about. I said, you guys got to be in California because there ain't no way I'm spending $900,000 on a house. I just can't do it. See, it's a buyer's market where we're trying to get our house ready to sell, and it's a seller's market up here. So the prices are just totally different. I'm just trying to smooth this out. It's so hard to see down in this cotton picking box. So there's our bottom. All right, I do one more thing. I need to trim that paper off from there if I can. That kind of worked. All right. We have to wait for the cardiologist to review his scans. And, oh, they're in Vegas. Okay. And what they told him was, if there's something wrong, you'll hear something within a day or two. If not, you might not hear anything. I was like, well, that kind of sucks. I mean, it'd be nice if they'd let you know either way. Everything looks great. No problems found, or, you know, you need to come back in. Oh, I'm very gluey. Might be time for a new wet one. All right, so there's that. Now, I like to do one more thing just to make it wear longer, is I'll put a strip over the edges. So like this, just over the edge. So that when I decorate my sides, I can just come up short and the pieces of strip will actually show. If you don't want the strips to show, just cover it all up with your paper. Or if you're going to do art on it and do mixed media on it, you can just cover these strips totally up. I cut that blooming short. So you can do this or not. It's up to you. All right, I'm going to quit trying to cut it to fit because I just keep messing it up. Oh, yeah, that's what we're doing is no news is good news. That's what we're going to go with. When that spare cat got caught in the tree and we were trying to get it down, that's when Scott was having trouble right at Christmas time. And we went to the ER and they checked him out and they couldn't find anything. Everything looked good, his blood work, everything else they did while we were there. But before they'd let him go, they wanted him to have a stress test. And so we said, well, we'll just go and schedule it. Well, this is the first he's been for a stress test. The others, he'll tell you, it was just talk visits at $180 a pop. So, yeah, he was not a happy camper. Gina's saying she goes through this about once a year. To monitor her health. That's something else. I'm trying to get some of the buildup of glue off from me, and that stuff's drying while I'm trying to do that. I'm just, oh, you can't see even. I'm just gluing a piece over the edge. It's Julie, right? Green macaroni. Oh, goodness. Well, Scott has very bad arthritis in his ankles, so he had to have where they give you the chemical to make everything react so they could check it. He was about to die for a cup of coffee by the time we got done in there. And we've never been sports fanatics. And there was a man in there, and all he wanted to do is talk sports. And I was like, oh, please just shut up. That's what was going through my mind. It was like, oh. And
thank goodness I could leave.
Yeah, you could leave. I was stuck in the waiting room with him. How about them blah, blah, blahs and the score? And, oh, they lost them players. And I'm like, oh, my God. I don't want to talk
I
about
wasn't missing none of
sports.
them. I didn't lose them.
I got lucky in that I found somebody that feels the same way about sports as I do. If you're into it, go for it. It's just not our cup of tea. All right. I've got glue going everywhere. What? Oh, Mary, I'm sorry. I saw you got up and did you've done a couple live unlisted lives today. I was watching some of those earlier. I pulled out that deck of playing cards that I found, and I think they're from Harrod's Casino. They got a hole through all of them, so. Uh-oh, you accidentally put her in timeout. Well, hopefully she'll show up and everything will be good. Why do I keep cutting them too short? I'm just going to go with it. It's my own box. Yeah, I just don't need it. Sports. I would rather be making and creating something than watching somebody else play a game and, having fun that way. It just doesn't do anything for me. So I was watching somebody talking about, I can't remember who I was watching. It's pretty bad. And they were talking about art stores. I think it was you Insanity Gals. So I got online and I started looking. And if I just go up over the mountain into North Carolina, there's a art shop in Hendersonville. I'd like to go up and check it out. And if we do make that trip, we'll go to Iannucci's because I love Iannucci's. And Iannucci's.
Antiquing.
Antiquing. Oh, there is a absolutely huge antique mall up there. We got up there late one time, and they were like an hour from closing. So we did like this mad dash through, and I'd love to go back to that.
I bought a wonderful hand plane.
Yes, you did. What did I do with the, never mind, there it is. So we definitely want to go up to that. It's like this huge old factory turned into a antique mall. I can't remember the name of that one. Can you, honey? But there's also Foam and Fabrics up there, and I definitely would like to go to Foam and Fabrics. All right. One more piece. And then we'll start on our top. Let's see if I... All right. Sometimes I think this tacky glue would be better if you're going to get it in a big bottle. Have it in something that, I don't know, you could dip something in and get it out, like a Mod Podge bottle or something. I don't know. It's just too much weight on my wrist to try to sling the stupid glue from the bottom to the top of it. All right. So get this piece glued on. We'll do some measurements. Need to be careful not to bury the measurements. All right.
Oh, you are an idiot.
I am not an idiot.
It's got on the YouTube.
Oh, the guy on YouTube is. All I heard is, you are an idiot. Hi, Giovanna.
That is not how I would do that.
Oh, Giovanna can't measure and chat at the same time. Uh-oh. Well, Scott, you'll just have to send him a message that that is not how you would do it. And
I'm not the only one that tells him that.
oh, you're not the only one? Is it a young guy or an older guy?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, maybe he's just learning. Be patient with him. Oh, he's growling at me now. Oh, jeez. All right. So there's the bottom of my perpetual calendar box. All right. So now let's get some of this glue out of the way so I don't glue it up. All right. You'd think you would need it the same as the bottom, but no, you've got to be able to fit it over your top. So I come over here and I measure this. It's 3 3/4. I'm going to just put my raw measurements right here. 3 3/4. By 8 7/8. That's the raw measurements. But you want to have about at 1/4 inch to each measurement. So that would be 4 by 9 1/8. And then you want to add another 1/8 so that you'll have room for your decorative papers. Okay, so 4 1/8 by 9 1/4. 4 1/8 by 9 1/4. So the top, the part that'll lay right on the top of the box needs to be the 4 1/8 by 9 1/4. Then you're going to have end pieces and side pieces. All right. I'm going to cover this glue up real quick while I cut all this stuff out. Oh, God. Get some of this glue out the way. All right, see here. I'll set that up there to dry. Now I'm going to go back to my scraps of chipboard I have off to the side, and I have this one big piece. So let's see if I've got any measurement that's close to the 9 1/4. No, of course not. So I'm going to have to get another piece of chipboard out. I'm going to use this stuff up. So let's get the 9 1/4 measured. Nine 1/4. And then 4 1/8. Oh, good night, Mary. And 4 1/8. Mary's trying to burn the candle at both ends, getting up at crazy early hours to do lives. She's an early bird. All right, so I'm going to cut this at my longest length first. And I should have wrote on the side that's the actual measurement. But we'll figure that out here in just a minute. I'm pretty sure it's this side to the left here. it's this piece. I always verify before I go on. So that piece will go on here. Yeah. All right, so now we want to do sides, ends and sides for the top. Now you want to determine how far do you want to come down? Do you want just a little, like a 1/2 inch strips? Or do you want to go ahead and do like maybe an inch, 1.5 inches? I'm leaning more toward about 1.5 inches. All right. And I think I will attach my long sides because I have this piece that's the right. So I'll attach them first. So I'm going to cut 2 pieces of this at 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches. So your sides will be 1.5 inches by the 9 1/4. So this will be opposite of how we did the box. We did the ends on the box first, on the bottom of the box. And on the lid, I'm going to do the opposite, just so they'll be structurally a little bit more sound. I'm going to go ahead and measure from the opposite side of this. 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches. What time is it getting to be? Oh, it's only 9. That's not right. That ain't right. I don't know what I was measuring, but that wasn't right. All right. Oh, okay. Tanya's having to work tonight. All right. Pop that over. Cut from the other side. So I'll save that one.
Oh, I can't watch anymore. He's not gonna put the guards back on.
Oh, you waiting for him to chop his fingers off?
That's farm equipment.
Oh, farm equipment's not good. To have no guards on it.
Howard, you look like a teddy bear tossed in the corner.
Oh, I'm going to just trim this one at 1.5 inches. Because the sides will all be the same. I can't even fold that one. There we go. This one I'm just cutting with the guide on here. Hopefully I'm getting it close enough to good here. All right. So it'll still be 1.5 inches. But we know we need an extra 1/8 of an inch to account for the widths of these. When we put these on the sides, the end here is going to have to be 1/8 of an inch longer to take into the account these 2 pieces. All right. So this was 4 1/8. So the end pieces will have to be 4 1/4. And you'll need 2 of those and 2 of those and 1 of those. So these will cut at 4 1/4. I don't think I'm going to be able to get both of them out of one piece. Maybe. Let's see what I get here. Are they both 4 1/4? Hot dog. That's wonderful. I don't have to cut another piece. a T-square. You know, I have one. All right, so this is our top right here. And it's 4 1/8 by 9 1/4. So you need one piece that size. Your two sides are 1 1/2 by 9 1/4. And you need two of those. And then the ends for your top are Skippy pen here, 1 1/2 by 4 1/4. All right, so we'll attach our sides first. So again, get you some strips out. We'll need, and I'm going through all those strips. I had this jar full of strips, and you see how many I've got left. And I'm going to make a smaller box later. Not today, but at some point I'm going to do a smaller box. I might do that as a standalone video with sped up sections. All right, I'm just going to trim that off and do another one this size. All right. I'm saving all the little pieces like that because we have to do the little teeny ends, you know, that'll run up and down here. All right. All right, let's put some glue on the inside. Oh, you know what? I shouldn't have put some on the other side. It just needs to be on one side of your paper for right now. And I'm going to treat this just like I did the bottom, but have it so the lid is laying on the table flat. So I want the side to come down and lay against the table and go up on the side of the board, not on top of the top. So I'm going to just lay this down here on here and push this in there. You don't fold that over. You just leave that sticking up in the air like that for a minute. That looks pretty good. All right, I'm going to do my other side here. Main reason you make it just slightly bigger is so it'll fit over, you know, fit over the box as well as all of the paper that you've added. Because if you don't take into account that, it'll be a tight fit. And if you add too much, your box lid will be all wonky and floppy. And so about 1/8 of an inch is a good measurement to include for the width of any decorative paper. Now, if you're going to do some heavy mixed media on it, I might add, you know, a full 1/4 inch for the decorating. Four 3/8 for what? The end would be 4 1/4 because 4 1/8 and 1/8 is 4 1/4 because 2/8 is 1/4. Is that what you're talking about? Did I write something down wrong? Because this is 4 1/8 because you want it just slightly bigger than your lid. And it might be loose now, but by the time we get done decorating it and everything, you'd be surprised on how much room paper takes up when you get multiple layers on the top and the bottom. I've got to get rid of some of this stuff that's popping up at the top. It's driving me crazy. Mixed Media Girl is live. And Stacy at Pink Poodle Crafts is live. Stacy's doing a giveaway with her mixed media mashup tonight. All right. So I'm going to put this on here.
Good news.
She's back.
It's raining again.
It's raining again.
I was worried about my mud starting to get dehydrated.
Well, I don't think we have to worry about dehydrated mud. I think we're going to be good on mud for
A long time.
a very long time. To be quite honest, I'm over mud. I'm ready to move on to green. Green grass. At this point, I don't even care that I have to mow it. I'm just ready for something besides mud.
I like mowing grass.
Yeah, I don't mind mowing grass at all. We got quite a mess to clean up in that side yard from all that wind we've had.
Where are you going to get around to that?
You said 4 1/8 plus 2 more 1/8 inch. Oh, Kathy, it's hard to tell. Oh, the 2 pieces together equals an 1/8. Maybe that's where it was misunderstood. You got to have these aren't an 1/8 of an inch wide. 2 of them together is 1/8. Sometimes my mouth goes in a different direction than my brain, and I'm sorry. Especially at this time of night. It's just like, what is my mouth saying? I don't think she's right. Scott will tell you that. It's like I'll be talking about one thing and then something else will come into my mind that I think I have to say right then because I'll forget it if I don't say it. And he's like, what the hell are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Oh, gosh. Well, most of the time, he just deals with it. I mean, we're 34, 35 years in. He might as well just get over it. This is just how I am. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put my support piece on the inside. I can't believe somebody's out there like on a little moped driving around in that cold rain. I hope they're not going to go out on White Horse Road and get squished. All right. All right, I'm just setting this in like I did on the box so that the fold goes right in the corner. And then I'll just use my handy dandy bone folder, come along, smooth it out, then just flip it over and do the same thing along the side. Beth, I'm glad you'd rather stay and hang with me, but I always want to make, people aware of other people that come on live so that I'm not hogging the time. All right. I've got to clean up my mess. Callie's like poking around like there's lizards got in or something. It's probably just stink bugs. That's the thing about a really old house is there's lots of holes for stink bugs. Yesterday I had a ladybug climbing on my leg. It's just they come in here for shelter in all the little holes. You just want to make sure that this is pushed down to your table and running along the side of your top, and that you're pushing down into your little tab of paper. All right. Oops, let's see, I pulled that loose. Now I got to push it back down on the table. All right, I'll cut my strip for the inside. This is what eats up the strips, is just trying to get everything nice and sturdy. Hi, River City. Hey, guys, has anybody heard from Ruby? What's her channel's 33rd Avenue, I think, or something like that. And I haven't seen a thing out of her in about 3 weeks. And she was, for a long time, making it into both Mary's Earlies and my evenings on Wednesday. So I was just, I hope everything's okay with her. That's the bad thing is you lose track of folks so easy. It's like we almost need to line up where we have an emergency contact that that Scott could be in contact with, so that if something happened to me, he could get in contact with them and in turn let the community know, you know, what was going on and why I wasn't around, so y'all wouldn't worry. I know I haven't heard from Laura Loves Lace for years now. And there for a while, we were writing and sharing. We both have March birthdays, and I haven't heard a thing out of her. And I know she was having some health concerns, so I don't know what happened. I'm hoping she's okay. And the last thing I mailed to the address I had for her was returned, so that makes me worry. She was such a sweet lady, and I just love to listen to her voice. All right. So there's those. So now we got to do our ends. Did I cut them too short? Let's see. Let's see. No. No, I think I can make it work. Okay. All right. Yeah, I saw a snake in the basement when we first moved in here, but since we cleaned out the 40-year-old canned goods out of the basement, I haven't seen the little snake. It wasn't a very big, it was a black rat snake. And I figure he was down there looking for bugs and mice and stuff that came for the nasty old food that was down there. Once we got that cleaned out, things improved immensely here in the little house. All right, who's being a nuisance? Howard? Howard sticks his head through the metal blinds. There he goes.
Howard.
Ah, wrong piece. This
Stop
piece
being a
first.
nuisance.
They don't know what that means. They're like, what do you mean nuisance? Slave, come here. Open the door. I want to go out.
See you later.
He said, I'll be back in about 15 minutes. Be prepared to open the door. Man unit.
Boy, might get them out. I leave them out early in the morning.
I know.
They hate that. They tell on me.
They do. They say, Mother, he put us out in the cold. Tippy just goes off mad.
Stays calm.
He just gets mad and just does his thing. It's fine. Put me out. I'll make you worry. I won't come home for days. The little brat. I keep looking for a house that's like out in the country or on a dead-end cul-de-sac so that the cats can go do their thing. But then if you get too far out in the country, then the coyotes will kill your kitties. So all right. Don't glue to the table. All right, I'm going to do my inside piece. I wonder if any of these will work. No, too short. Too short, too short. Too short. Let's see, it's going to be on the inside. A little bit shorter than that, but not much. That's perfect. Perfect. Yeah, I hadn't seen Ruby in like weeks. And I know there for a while she was going to Tanya's lives and Lisa's and mine and Mary's. I would see her everywhere, and now it's like nothing. Ruby, I'm talking about. So Ruby, if you're watching this, we miss you. Where are you? Ah, don't pull on it, just push on it. These things are a lot of fun to make, but they are time consuming. When I give these as gifts, people always look at me like, oh, a box, great. They don't understand that it takes hours to create one and decorate it and everything. It's like, oh, it's a box. Great. Thanks. I'm like, okay, that'll be the last time I take hours to make some for you. Yeah, I know. We were talking about her the other day, and I think it was in your live. Oh, shut up. That means I've been on here for 2 hours, and all I've got is the box. So do you guys want me to keep going and decorate the box, or do you want me to save decorating the box for another time? I was really hoping to get it done so I could put my calendar in it. I'm worried the cats are going to knock it over. And oh, you know what? I just did a big boo-boo. Oh, well. Put the glue on just one side at a time, Becky. It'll make your life easier. Because now I have to work quicker. Now you just got to have 8 little teeny pieces and keep going, Sharon says. Hi, Linda T. You've been a-lurking, huh? All right. That's too short. I got to take my Band-Aid off. It's not doing anything except irritating me. I can't tell what is the stickiness of the Band-Aid getting in the way and what is buildup of glue. Glue. I get those blahs too sometimes. For which one, Sharon? The tags? Not until, I think I put it on there, but I can't remember. I'll have to look at it. I think it's going to be in February. Because this next week I'm going to be down working on the house. I'll have my computer with me, but the only videos you guys might see out of me will be like home remodel stuff. Okay. Jerry must be in bed looking through comments and stuff. Oh, the Bits and Bobs? I haven't even put that one on the events list yet. Bits Bits and Bobs will be in March. So I probably won't assign partners for it until mid-February. As we were just talking about it right now, I haven't made it onto the events page. I'm getting to where I can't cut straight. That's not good. There we go. No, I'm still too long. I don't want to cut it so much. I cut it too short. All right, we'll make that work. All right, so this is inside, so we need to put the glue on the outside. Oh, Gina's. All right. See you later, Gina. Cook something good. All Scott's had to eat all day is Chinese food and clam chowder because he couldn't have anything this morning. Basically, he couldn't eat all day because they gave him crackers there during the test, but we were both hungry. I made myself some oatmeal this morning or I would have been dying. All righty. Get in here with my bone folder. Smooth it out. See, I keep pulling at it, and you don't want to pull, you don't want to press. Because if you pull, then you pull the strip of paper out of the corner, and that's no good. All right. So now we just got all these little bits here. Tanya, are you still around? I think you missed it, but let me show you real quick. I don't know if you can see it or not, but these are the artist trading cards I did with the scraps from your Sunday Live, and I'm going to send you one. So I just decided to make artist trading cards on your theme. The Art Deco stuff. All right, I think I'm going to turn this over and get some strips cut here for my lid. All right. I'm cutting 4 of these for the 4 outside corners. And then I will flip this box over after I glue these in place and cut 4 that'll fit on the inside of the cover. And then we'll try our lid out. And you have to keep in mind, it might look loose, but by the time we start decorating it and add more paper, that space gets taken up quickly. When I was a kid, I would have loved this. Get that glue dried on your fingers, and you can sit there and peel it off. But right now, it's driving me crazy. Yeah, let me make sure. These are the windows. There's one I did with Tanya. This one's got my address showing, so I don't want to show that. But there's that one. And then this one is the one I told you I added the book paper and stuff. And this one I left these pieces just as I put them in there, just so I could always remember that they're made with recycled mail. And then I used more book paper, and then I did a doodle and punched circles out of it just to decorate the pages a little bit. So I got to finish those. I'm going to gesso those other ones too. So that was a fun project. Now I just got to catch up with you and Lisa on the other project that you guys got me started on. I punched out a whole bunch of circles, and I'm going to cover my playing cards with painty paper circles. Most of it's off. The stuff I punched out was from envelopes you guys sent me. Yeah, those Art Deco pages were a lot of fun to do. I've got to go back and watch Tanya's video on making a cover so I could go ahead and get a cover made for my totally junk journal. Scott and I kept waking up. We were afraid we'd oversleep. So I don't think either one of us slept 100% well last night. We didn't want to miss his appointment after it took so long to get one for a stress test. So that holds the sides in. Now we'll just put some little pieces on the inside of it. And then I'll cover the edges with more along the edge. All right, let me get my finger clean again. I need to see what this who started the tin challenge and all of that. I need to go back and watch the beginning of Jerry's video again, because was that your idea, Tanya, to do a tin challenge? I think I have well, I've been using my Altoid tins, but I'm sure Scott and I can come across some tin boxes around here maybe. We'll see what we can find. But I liked Jerry's, the doll she did. It turned out good. Very good. Yeah, if you're the one that started it, Tanya, you better get off the stick. No. Just picking. I know you got company. All right. So inside corner, put the glue on the outside of the tabs again. Smoosh it around with your finger. And then put it in the corner. Well, let's see here. If you guys have any questions, If you pop them in now, I'll look up and see if I can answer them. All right. Tanya's put up a challenge video there that she started on using a tin box. You guys want to check it out? Hi, Journey. All right, so I got those two corners. Here in a second, I'll do a test to make sure everything's fitting together good. All right. My mom has given me a project of organizing all of the childhood pictures of all 6 of us kids, and I gotta go pick those up on my way back up here next Friday. Scott will be up because he's got to work, and I gotta cook meals and have all of his meals done for him. So I don't have to worry about him starving. Hopefully I can get a lot done when I'm down there. Let's see, which one did I? Almost put this one in the same hole as the other one. That wouldn't have worked out too good. All right, and I just used the bone folder to get it pushed into the corner and then smooth it out. Uh-oh, pulled it. Pulled instead of pushed. All right. Alrighty. I'm going to do my over the edges here. And like I said, all of my notes is going to be covered up here. Is that one? Is this one too short? Yeah. Yeah, Tanya's going to go off and have fun on Sunday and go to a book sale. Isn't that right? That just sounds like fun. I almost stopped at the Goodwill clearance yesterday, but it was starting to get late, and me after dark driving it's not a good idea. I just can't handle that glare. I thought about getting some of those orange night driving glasses, but I don't know if they'd work. Hoping they'll call with my new glasses being ready before the weekend, because if not, I'll get them second week of February. First full week. Main reason I am putting these over the edges is so that when I put my paper on, I'll have a little bit of this showing all the way around, because if I don't, the top side of the paper will just have the card chipboard showing, and I would like a more finished edge. Okay, got Oh, yellow ones. Okay. I will have to look for those. The glare, it's almost blinding. That's why I've gotten to where if it's starting to get too close to night, I'll just stay wherever I am. I won't try to make that drive. Scott does okay because he has to do it, you know, to get home every night. I mean, it's pitch black by the time he gets home. He's on second, so. All right. And yes, I decorate even the inside of the box. I know, crazy, crazy. One more edge, then we'll have all these strips on. All right. Spread this out a little bit. Uh-oh, that's not good. Let's not do that. Glue it to the table. That would not be good. Hi, Judy. Yeah, when you have a machine that cuts them and folds them and does them, they're you know, you don't think about them. But if you take the time to create and make a box from scratch, you learn that, you know, back in the day when they were, whoever developed boxes, that had to be a smart person. All right, so here's the top, here's the bottom. It looks really loose right now, right? We get the paper on there and stuff, it'll be a lot tighter. So there's my top. And if it gets to where it's still not tight enough, you know what you can do? You just add some lace around the top or inside your lid, and it'll firm it up. It is a little loose. See, I've got that much extra space. I could probably take a 1/4 inch off all the way around, but then I'd be afraid it would be really tight fitting. Mainly, I just want something to cover it to keep the dust and dirt off it. So let's let the top dry. And all I'm going to do is cut pattern paper and put it down in here and stick it in. I think I'll do the bottom first and then put the side pieces in. So the inside measurement of this is, we'll say 8.5 by 3.5. So let's cut our paper at 3.25 by 8.25. 3.25 by 8.25. And the reason I'm coming back a little bit is so it'll have exposed the craft paper just a little bit all the way around. Now comes the fun part. I think I want to do the inside of the box all the same color. So let's see what I have the most pattern. Okay. I'm going to pull these out and use this on the inside. And I know it looks jarring, but it's the inside of the box. Oh, Susan's got to go? Okay. I saw the Jim the Gentleman Crafter years ago do the supportive things, and I've been making boxes ever since I watched his video. 3 1/4. Now, I don't know how well this is going to cut after cutting all that chipboard, but I don't have another blade, so I'm going to have to just go with what I have. Now, if you wanted to, you could ink all your edges. I am not going to do that. And I'm going to use a glue stick, I think, instead of wet glue. I wish I had a piece of wax paper over here. Let me go get one to put the glue stick on one. Oh, I'm glad I stood up. I don't think I had any blood in my legs. If you, Mina has a question, you guys. She was thinking of covering hers with fabric. What type of glue would work best without staining her fabric? I know Fabric Tack will hold it, but it does have a tendency of making it look like water marks. I was thinking maybe a spray adhesive would work best for covering a box. What do you guys think? You'd have to do it outside or in a well-ventilated area. All right. You could ink your edges. I just want to not do that. So I'm just going to work this paper down in there. And the insides, I don't worry about it being totally even because it's going to be hard to do inside this narrow box. I just want to let's do. I said I wasn't going to worry about it, and here I am fiddling with it. No. The glue's all going to dry before I get it stuck down. I need to just commit. We're going to go with that. Because once the cards are in here, you're not going to see it, but I like to have a nice finish. So there we go. Down there. All right. So now I'm going to cut the same width, which I said was 3 1/4 inches. 3 1/4. Let's do it this way. And we'll cut 2 more strips for the end pieces. 3 1/4. Because see, if you ink your edges, it makes it look even more finished. That's not going to be big enough for there, but we can save that for the lid. And let's make it 5 3/4. And I'll just cut these two together. Save us a little time. 5 3/4. That one will go there. And that one will go there. All right. So let's cut another piece at the 5 3/4. Cut this piece at 5 3/4. And then together, we'll cut two. I'm going to cut this just a little bit over the 8 1/4. Give it a little bit longer. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the measurements for the pattern paper because I feel like y'all can measure whatever project you've done and get your own, however you want the paper to fit your box. Okay, so we're going to glue these up, pop them in there. Thanks, Kathy. Temps dropping. It says it's 46 here, but it just doesn't feel that. Either that or my body's trying to go to sleep without me. That happens sometimes. I like this Scotch glue stick. I didn't like glue sticks for a long time. All right, I'm going to lay this on its side to get this in because it's got the glue on it. And we'll let gravity feed it where it's going to go. I will kind of adjust this to be about the same distance from the top of the box. Not too worried about what's down inside. And then smooth it out. So there's that one. All right, and we'll do the other side, same way. And if you want, you can add trims and all of that to your boxes. I like to add a little bit of trim to mine. I'll probably do some, on the outside, I'll probably do a couple patterns of paper in this same blues and gold colors. My real desire is to go and use all of that paper pad up. You know, you buy some paper pads for 1 or 2 sheets in them, and then you have all that extra paper. So it's really so silly for me to buy anything until I've used up a bunch of this stash of stuff. You know? Scott jokes about now he has a stash. And he's been trying to use his stash up too, because our theory is if we use it up fixing that house down there, then we don't have to move it to a new house. All right, this is getting kind of gooey on the outside. You can use baby wipes, you know, just don't get crazy scrubbing, but you can use it to clean up glue residue. All right, so there's the bottom and 2 sides. That'd make you dizzy if you had to look at it all the time. All right, got 2 more pieces here. I want to make sure I'm putting them in the right way. I am. I don't have any clear gel medium, but that is a good idea. Is that for the fabric? That's a good idea. And I was reading in that book I had today that said to apply it with a brayer and to wipe up any excess. Don't leave a bunch of excess on your project with the mediums, or you'll get a cloudy effect, it said. So that made sense to me. Again, I'm going to lay it so the gravity can help me set this in there. Gravity, a magical thing. Okay. Woohoo! My cards are going to have a home tonight. Might let it dry before I stick the cards in, though, just in case there's some glue. I'd hate to glue my cards down in the box. Not that there would be enough there to glue all those cards out. I never did find 5x8s with no lines, so I bought some at Walmart, and they have lines, but that's okay. It'll just mean my writing is straighter on those cards that have the lines. Again, let gravity do your business for you. And see, I just go in and just let it kind of fall where it wants, and then I try to line the top up with the previous side, and then just smooth it down with a baby wipe. This baby wipe's pretty dry. It's not a sopping wet baby wipe. You don't want to put a bunch of moisture. Okay, inside of the box is decorated. Okay. We'll set that aside, and we'll do the inside of our lid. So this should be long enough. Nope, not quite. So the lid needs more. Let's see. The lid needs a piece that's about 9 by 4 for the inside of the lid. I'll go ahead and put this at 9. By 4. Oh, that's cool. So clear matte medium. Is that what you said? Might have to put that on my wish list. I can justify glue and adhesives and that kind of stuff, but everything else, I can't really justify it right now. I did order some more just plastic bags. I've got this idea of just making stuff and putting it in bags to keep it clean. And then at Christmas, just toting a tote with me that people can that we come across that at Christmas, and I can tell them, just go in the tub and pick something out. And then I can be using stuff up, and I'll have Christmas all taken care of by the time Christmas gets here. All right. So now we'll need that same, what was that, 9 and a, told you. All right. So we've got this piece. We'll trim this at, how wide do we want our strips to be on this? Let's see. This was 1.5 total space. Let's do this at 1 1.25. We'll do this at 1 1/4 strips. And we need 2 of them. Actually, I could do 1 1/4. go in there. And then another. Now, if you decided to do a mixed media on this, I'd love to see it. If anybody wants to do that. No. Don't pull it, Becky. That's not good. That would be really cool to see. 1 1/4. I have this. Looks like I totally cut it wrong to begin with. What in the devil is wrong with my brain? All right. Is that right? Yeah. All right. And then we'll do a 1 1/4 and then figure out how much smaller to make it for the ends. And the ends were really short pieces, so 3 3/4. 3 3/4. And 3 3/4 again. Uh-oh. Glued my cutter to the thing. Okay. So, let's put these in here. Yeah. Oh. I was like, where'd that other long piece go? That might be one of those things we should try to do it like a sampling of. If I got some different adhesives, we could just do, okay, how does this adhesive react to fabric, and how does it react to, we could do that sometime. Now, if you wanted to get all precise and everything, you could match your little diamonds up on this pattern, so it wouldn't flow all the way through. I've been that anal in a project before, but it was a gift, so yeah. But see, you could make a box kind of like this and just put index cards in there and make dividers with like appetizers and that kind of stuff and give it to somebody as a wedding gift or something like that. Or a housewarming gift, and maybe include some of your favorite recipes in it. Okay, so the top is getting covered now. The other night I could have skinned my kid. He posts on Facebook, got my hand caught in a forklift, and his hand's down inside a forklift caught between the metal. And all I'm thinking is, oh my God, don't do that to me, kid. They had to take the forklift partway apart. He was trying to get keys out from inside the machine that somebody else had dropped down in. So don't just post that kind of stuff to Facebook until you're totally out of it and safe. Don't freak your poor mother out like that. I think he just likes to freak me out occasionally and make sure I'm still alive. All right, there's the inside of the box. Hi, Susan. So let's see how it fits. It's still loose, but I'm okay with it being loose. Like I said, you can make adjustments if you want it tighter than this. If you wanted it to be tighter, you could make all your top measurements 1/4 inch smaller. And it would be, if you made it 1/4 inch smaller width and length, it would fit snugly. But I'm okay with how this is turning out. All right, so let's do the outside of this. And we're going to use a different paper out of that same pad because I am determined to use this up. Let's see. Something that's still in the blues and golds. I'll move this, my glue stuff. Glue. Something, oh, I like that flower right there. That would be pretty on the outside. The thing is, I have to make sure. Now, let's see, is that it? That's it. You can do, like, I'll pull 2 sheets of this, and that'll be for the bottom of the box. And then maybe do the outside of the top with this. If I have to, I'll pull another sheet out. So, I'm going to save this for the top of the box. Put that over there. So on the outside of the box, I'm going to cut 8 3/4 by 5 3/4. 8 3/4 by 5 3/4. So we do 8 3/4 by 5 3/4. And I need another one that's 5 3/4 for the other side. This is where if you did the ink on the edges, it would make it look really cool, but I'm just going to do just like that. That looks too long. I need to cut. Where's my ruler again? Because that should be perfect. Let's see. No, 8 1/2. So I'll take these 2 together and trim them at 8 1/2. Oops, Scott's getting tired. It's good I'm almost done here. All right, I'll glue that one there. This one will go on the other side. So I need another one that's at the 5 3/4. So trim at 5 3/4 for the height of it. And then I need the width of it, the ends. 3 1/2 inches. Sorry if y'all are asking me stuff. I'm measuring and cutting. Okay. Tanya says she really has to go to work now. All right. I'm sure that's hard to get your work done when you've got out of state company and so many people going live doing fun stuff. Yeah, I could do that, except I've already decorated the inside of the top. So I'd be covering up. But I could do that. I could put another layer of cardboard in there. We'll see how I feel about it in the morning. It's just paper, right? I could do that. Just line it with more of the cardboard. And then it would fit tighter.
You gonna slip and poke a hole in that.
Do what?
RP.
Oh, you watching R Peak in Maine?
Oh, he ain't doing right.
He's not doing it right. Well, I'm sure he'd tell you he's doing it his way, and it's just fine. All right, there's one side of it. Get another one down here. The notifications are all messed up, Susan. I don't know. It's like I was telling Mary earlier before she went to bed that, you know, I get the notifications for her when she's signing off. Now, I do get Lisa's, but it's usually about 5 minutes in on her. So I usually miss her opening mail and things like that. So I try to be there, you know, to just be on her channel when she goes live. But then, like Janet said earlier, you know, you don't always see it on the channel either. Sometimes you have to go into the video tab to see if she's live, because it doesn't even pop up on my sidebar. And I start from the middle and push to the outside when I'm adding paper to try to ward off any bubbles. But using a glue stick, I don't have quite as many. And I do put some on the bottom too, but it's usually like a plain piece of paper because I figure nobody's going to look at the bottom, you know, anyway. I might make a box that'll hold all the stuff I have collected for my 2,500 giveaway and include a handmade box for that as well. If I do that, though, it would have to be shipped USA only. So if somebody, Canada or overseas, want it, I don't know how I would ship it. I went to the post office yesterday because I thought I would have to pay extra postage to get the artist trading cards to Elise and Barb. And I actually had to just pay extra for the one to go to Janet. But there was a girl in front of me, and she was paying crazy money to ship her clothes to Ireland. And Scott and I were like, save that money, sell them clothes, buy new stuff in Ireland. I don't get romantically in love with clothing. Is it loose? Is it comfortable? Does it fit me? Can I replace it at a clearance store at a sale? But she was paying like $200 a box. She had 2 boxes, and she said, "I'll be back. I've got more." I was like, "Wow, that's a lot." But I guess if you spend a lot of money on clothes, which I don't, you'd want to keep them, I guess. I don't hold much value with that kind of stuff myself. All right, so there's my sides. It's looking very retro 70s. And there's the inside. All right, so I could put a piece of what's inside on the bottom. That's what I'll do. I had extra of that, and I probably got a piece that's really close to fitting the bottom. That's too narrow. This one can be made to fit. Uh, 3.5 by 8.5. 3.5 by 8.5. I'm almost done, Scott. I'm going to cut about 1/4 inch off this and see if it'll fit better. No, another 1/4 inch off. Good night, Journey. All I've got to do is decorate the top of the box with the blue paper, and then we'll be done. Because I've already done the inside of the top. But Tanya's right. If I want it to fit just a little bit tighter, I could add more chipboard. And have it fit tighter. Yeah, this is one of those projects I like to do and then speed up a lot of it so that somebody doesn't have to sit and watch unless they really wanted to. See how it's done. All right, bottom, sides, inside. The box is made totally from scratch. And we just got to make the lid covered up. And this has to be a little short. Let's do 4 by 9.25. With 4, and then I'll get the length in a minute. My drop on those is 1.5. So if I do 1.25 strips, I need 3 of those. 1.25. One and a quarter. Okay, and then I forgot the length measurement again. 9.25. So if I cut this at 9.25, that'll do the top. And then if I take and I line 2 of these up even and trim them at 9.25 as well, that'll get both sides cut with those. That's each of the sides. And then I need to know what to do here. It's 4 inches. So we'll cut 2 of these. 1, 2. Okay. I'm going to have to clean all that glue off the back of that cutter. All right, so let's do this here. Going through the glue stick, man. And see, if you ink your edges, then you won't see the core of the paper. But I'm not bothered with that. And another thing is you could put like pearl beads or, you know, some kind of beaded trim or something on it. So I might revisit this and add trim to it in a standalone video so you guys can see how I decorate it. Because see, that's something I could work on between loads of laundry or cooking or whatever. All right, so let's see. Sorry guys, I'm got focused. All right, 2 more pieces and I'll have it covered. Yeah, I was thinking some fringer stuff. I'll dig through my stuff and see what I can come up with that'll look good with it. I think I have some gold trim too. I might have to flip this or fold it. I'll fold it in half. It's getting really sticky. All right. You can see I got that corner just a little wonky. Yeah, because see, if I put a fringe and then I put the lid on, the fringe could hang down below this and hold the lid on tighter. I'm not unhappy with it, but it's one of those things. It's been a while since I made a box. I think I overestimated or guesstimated how much space to leave. Exactly, Barb. I learned quick whether somebody gets a homemade gift or not. Because I'm not going to put up that much effort and then have them, you know, poo-poo it. Uh-oh. That little piece is bothering me. It sticks over. All right, let's see what it looks like all together. And I'm sorry this took so long, you guys. It's 10:30. Been on here for 3 hours, but they are time consuming. So I hope you enjoyed seeing how to make a box from scratch. And you can, like I said, recycle your cereal boxes and stuff to make these. You just have to glue 2 pieces together before you to do that. Oh, that's one of my cards from over here. I was like, where did that card come from? But see, it is a little loose. I might do like Tanya said and put some more chipboard in there. But for now, that's the box. And then the inside. So that's what we made tonight. So if anybody just got here as I'm signing off, if you watch from the beginning when this goes live, I tell you how to make this box. And this is for my perpetual calendar that I'm doing along with Tanya. So let's make sure it all fits. So that goes down in. Ta-da! And then the lid goes on. And then I have room to get my fingers in there to pull a card out each year. And this calendar that she's doing is you ask yourself the same question every year on the same day for 5 years. And this keeps a record of your answers. So that's why I wanted to make this. All right. Thank you guys so much for hanging in with me so late. And I will see you all sometime soon. I will not be live next Wednesday night unless something crazy happens and I decide to. But for right now, I'm saying no live next Wednesday. That way I can focus on the house, okay? Thanks, Gloria. I'll let him know you said that. Sleep well, Scott, Lisa says. Everybody says good night. Take care, everybody.